Technical foul. Yeah.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Tito Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Justin.
As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Justin, we're back.
We're back, baby. We are back.
Justin.
Business is booming. We're back.
How you been?
I've been good, busy with schoolwork, but I'm finally glad we're able to hook up and get this thing on the road. On the road again.
Yeah, seriously, like we were just on a huge hiatus. Like we had people hitting us up like, David, where's the podcast? Why'd you end it? Justin, what's up? Like, what's with the podcast?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was getting texts all the time.
Listen, man, like it's just like, life happens, stuff happens,
Yep.
but we are back. We're going to be uploading consistently.
Yep.
Keeping you guys up to date with what's going on in the league, giving you our thoughts. You might not want to hear them, but you're going to hear them. Too bad, because my opinions are right. Nobody else's.
I don't know about that one, but we'll see.
Let's get into it, man. There's a lot going on this year. It's a good so far. I mean, we're what, 4 months into the season, and we're already having a good time.
About
I'm having a good
there.
time. Personally, I'm having a good time. Curry's balling out, breaking records. You got Ja Morant. We'll get into him later. We got some drama going on, especially with our team, Justin. You guys don't know, obviously. Sixers fans, we got a little bit of a situation with Ben Simmons. I know not really a little bit of a situation. It's a pretty big situation. Yeah, a very big situation. Obviously, Ben Simmons refusing to play, tens of millions of dollars in fines. Justin, I want to get your initial thoughts on this, because I personally am a Ben Simmons fan. He was my favorite player besides LeBron, ever since he got drafted.
LeBron. He was baby LeBron.
Those are the comparisons. People are comparing him to Magic, LeBron. I remember watching him at LSU, stoked to have him drafted the Sixers and just for all this. So I want to get your initial thoughts on this whole Ben Simmons, mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Ben Simmons is soft. I don't think he's made to play in Philadelphia. I like what he brings. I like guys that aren't like flashy, and he's not flashy. He's a guy who works hard. He's gritty. He's defensive. He fits in Philadelphia, actually. But mentally, he is not able to play in this city. I mean, we really didn't even do much to him. Occasional boos. I mean, you saw Game 7 last year. Their fans were sitting there courtside trying to help him, teach him how to shoot free throws. But he's just not. Occasionally, Philadelphia fans boo, right? But that's only on occasions. We were helping him a majority of his career. We were with him, and he can't take a little adversity and bounce back. I get Doc threw you under the bus. I get Joel threw you under the bus, but you signed a contract. You're supposed to be playing here. I mean, I just think he's soft. I think he needs to go, but I actually think he needs to go in the off season, not this deadline. But I just think he needs to go. I think he's soft. He just doesn't fit here. I wish him the best because I also liked him, process days. We were big fans of him, but I just think he's soft, and I guess I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, this whole situation sucks because I was in the minority where I was like, everyone after that Game 7, yes, we all saw that missed dunk, that wide open dunk where Trae Young had the Intimidator gold, platinum
Intimidator Hall of Fame badge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We all saw it, but I was in the minority. I'm like, look, yeah, he had a bad playoff, so I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to argue that with anybody, but you got to give him one more chance. And when we gave him one more chance, the Sixers wanted him to play. The Sixers,
we didn't stop him from bringing him back. We still want him back. Right now, we're Daryl Morey actually said today on the radio, he wants him back. Philadelphia is not saying no, we don't want you. Maybe a couple fans are, but the majority of us want him to come back and play. And I mean, he really should, because if he comes back and plays, it's easier for him to get traded if he's out there balling out. Teams want him. Teams aren't waking up every day saying, man, I really want to trade for Ben Simmons when they haven't seen him play in over a month. And the last thing he showed them was him passing up a wide open dunk. He's got to get out there, out on the floor, and just play his game and show teams what he's got. And that's honestly the best way for him to get out of Philadelphia. Him holding out like this, that's not exactly an easy, that it doesn't make him look attractive to other teams. So he's only hurting himself, and he's hurting the Sixers. and he's just wasting a year of Joel's prime.
It's not a good look at all. And, you know, especially because, like, yeah, the Sixers have been good recently. They were struggling. And the reason that they were struggling is because they didn't have a point guard. Yes, Ben Simmons wasn't playing. Sure, you can say whatever you want about him, but you can't just take him out of this situation and replace him with nothing. You know, obviously Maxi's a great player. He's showing a lot of great potential, but he's not ready to fill that starting spot, that starting point guard spot, in my opinion. So, you know, yeah,
No,
like you
for
said,
sure.
yeah, you're wasting Joel Embiid's prime, probably his MVP year, the way it's looking. You
Yeah,
know, and
if
once
he can stay
you know,
healthy.
yeah, as long as he stays healthy, yeah, stops eating Chick-fil-A every day, 4 milkshakes and whatever. But you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like at the beginning of the season, the Sixers were struggling. They started to get a little bit better, but you know, I truly believe once they get to the playoffs, once you know they're gonna that if Simmons still isn't playing, they're gonna be struggling again. And
And
we're
I
just
think
gonna and
you see it throughout the entire team actually, because guys like Tobias Harris, like fans didn't truly appreciate what Ben Simmons did. I was one of them, and you really see it now. Like people didn't truly get what Ben Simmons brings to this team because we don't have a secondary we don't have a true playmaker outside of Ben Simmons. So guys who can't create their own shot, like a Danny Green who sits in the corner, he's got nobody to create a shot for him. That was all Ben Simmons. All Danny Green's open threes were because Ben Simmons pushed and made something happen for him. Tobias Harris, again, like another guy who Ben Simmons created stuff for him. He's not able to really create his own shots. So it's just like without him, like, yeah, you're like, oh, well, you're only missing whatever 12 points a game. Like, no, you're missing, in my opinion, the best defender in the league and an elite playmaker. And when you don't have another elite playmaker, like the defense, it's all right. It's not terrible because you still have a good defender in Embiid and you have an elite defender in Thibault outside. But you're missing a playmaker. Maxi's okay, but he's not a playmaker. He's more of a score first guard. Shake Milton, another score first guard. Seth Curry, he's not a real guard. They have him bring up the ball at times. Then you have Furkan bring up the ball at times too. It's just like you need a true playmaker. So if Ben Simmons doesn't come back, they really need to get a point guard at the deadline
yeah,
because that's the biggest thing they are missing. I don't think it's necessarily his defense. It certainly isn't his scoring. They're missing his playmaking because they don't have a play. I mean, Joel has kind of been his assists are way up this year, but I mean, as a center, like you need a true point guard that can run an offense.
yeah. I mean, break it down this way. So yeah, you said he only averages about 12 points a game, but he averaged what, like eight to 10 assists. Let's just, you know,
Yeah.
for example, multiply that by 2. That's 8 assists times 2. That's 16 points that he's responsible for off the board. That's, you know, around 20 points off. So yeah, definitely like missing him is going to hurt this team in the long run. Yes, they might be a good regular season team, but once you get to the playoffs, you're going to need somebody to replace him. And I think at least by the trade deadline, if not till the end of the year, you should try to find something to replace him. And in my opinion, if you're going to trade him, you got to package him with Tobias Harris.
Yeah, if you're trading him, I agree. I would like to get rid of Tobias Harris as well. It's interesting though, because you see all these offers and stuff. Like, I guess we should first discuss the Pistons, the rumored Pistons one that was offered. I believe it was yesterday that it came out. I think the Pistons offered Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, and a first round pick, and Kelly Olynyk for I think it was Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris, I believe.
Expensive.
And like, I just I mean, I want to get rid of both of them, but like, I just don't think we should right now. We need a true second star next to Embiid. I think that's the only way we truly elevate to title contenders. Us just sitting there and adding more role players doesn't really put us over the edge. Because again, if you're adding 3, 4 good role players, all that's doing is minimizing your role players now role. So like Thibault's going to get less minutes. Maxi could be getting less minutes. Or like if you do a deal with the Kings and you're adding like Halliburton, Heald, and say Harrison Barnes, you're adding the 3 of them. That's fine, but like Maxi's minutes are going down. You're going to lose Curry minutes, Thibault minutes. Like in reality, like this team isn't that far off. They just need a second guy they can go to when Embiid's on the bench. They just don't have that guy. I don't think they need like, yeah, maybe they get another 3-point shooter for that can like relieve Thibault because Furkan's not making any shots or something. So maybe you get a 3-point shooter there, but you're ideally you need like a second go-to star because Tobias Harris just isn't it. I think you need a Dame Lillard, Brad Beal, James Harden. Like you need a true second star that can elevate this team to the championship. So like at this deadline, if none of those guys are available, I would hold on to Simmons and move him in the offseason when one of those guys could become available.
I think so, but my only concern is taking shots away from Embiid. That's the last thing I want to do in a situation like this. And I think once you get a guy on, you know, this once you get a second star, the Sixers are going to be a win now team, and I just don't think that they're at that spot yet. I still think they need a lot more depth. I still think they need better coaching. I don't think the Sixers team is in a win now spot, and I especially think it's going to hurt if we sign James Harden because you're just going to take shots away from Embiid.
See, I don't think that's like that's Kevin Durant shooting 20 plus field goals a game right now, playing alongside James Harden, who's averaging like 22, 9, and 9. So
That's
like
Kevin
James
Durant.
Harden still, yeah, but like it's the same type of concept. You're adding. He's already playing with a guy who's putting up 20 shots, and B can get those 20 shots. Like just because like one guy is out there, I still think you need that second star because you need somebody that can go out there and score and create for other people and make people better when Embiid's not on the court. Because when Embiid's they run their entire offense through Embiid right now, and it looks good when Embiid's out. But as soon as he goes off, they have no identity. Their coach like Doc Rivers draws nothing up. They have nothing to do. Like when he brings out those all bench lineups, they're just pathetic. Like there's nothing there. You need that guy. Like say you do get a Damian Lillard or a Brad Beal or James Harden. Those guys can come in when Embiid's on the bench and they can run the offense and they'll create and make other people around them better as well. So they'll elevate that bench unit. But I just think you need that second star because when Embiid's off the court in the postseason, he's not able to play 48 minutes every night. I know he's going to play close to 40, but that's what kills him every year. You need that second guy you can go to. And the last time they had that, in my opinion, was when they had Jimmy Butler, and that's the closest they've been to going to the finals. So you need that second guy you can go to when Embiid's not on the court. And I think you're going to need to get Harden, Beal, or Dame to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think we're ready for a James Harden argument yet. It's
not
the first
yet,
episode.
Too early.
I know it's a little too early, but maybe next episode. But yeah, let us know what you think about this whole Ben Simmons situation. It's one of the craziest, honestly, one of the craziest situations in basketball history. Like I've never seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say Philadelphia sports history, but like it's just honestly maybe sports history in general.
It's just the craziest thing. Like you have a guy who's refusing to get better, and that's the thing too. Like when I was defending Ben Simmons for a while. If he actually had, because I genuinely thought maybe he has something going on off the court. Something with life happens. You know what I mean? Like we just said.
Yeah.
But the Sixers offered him, resources to help him. They're like, yeah, we'll help you and we'll pay for it. And he denied it. So that's kind of where he kind of lost my respect in that aspect. Because like we offered to help you and you just refused it.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you remember this or other fans probably don't remember this, but like a couple of years ago, a lot of these fans were ready to run Embiid out of this town. They were like, he's fat, he's lazy, he doesn't have hard work ethic, and they were booing him. And there was actually a couple of times where he like trolled the fans on posting on Instagram. He was like, "Oh, I should go down to Miami," and Butler was commenting like, "I know a place where villains are welcome." It's like back in the day, there was a time where Sixers fans and Embiid were getting into it a little bit, and instead of like pouting like Ben Simmons is doing now, Embiid took it to heart and developed his game and become the player he is today. Ben Simmons, on the other hand, faced the same criticism, and instead of like, he ran away from the challenge instead of like facing it and beating it. Like he just runs away from stuff when he does. He's scared. I don't know what it is. I think it truly is something mental with him. But I think he's been probably coddled his whole life. Like it's just who he is, and I think he doesn't think he needs to be better, which is a shame because he's a very talented player. He has the potential to be the best player in the league. He truly does. He's that unique of a talent, just athletically and just physically gifted, but he just isn't there mentally. So I mean, I think it's worth if you're like a tanking team out there, say like in Orlando, Detroit, second round, I'd be doing everything you can to get him, because if you unlock his full potential, you are getting a true superstar, top 5 player in this league type of player, which
100%.
is hard to get. But I mean, it's just so disappointing. This is what it came to. But Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, yeah, that's just how, Philly sports have been. You play better. That's how you that's just how you
Don't run away from it. Use it as motivation to get better. Ben Simmons did not.
I think about it like I'll go to baseball for a second. Reese Hoskins. You know what I mean? We were booing
Yeah.
him. We were ready to get him out of town, but he improved.
Think about the
You know what
Eagles
I mean?
this year. With the Eagles were throwing the ball like crazy the first couple games, and then the fans basically bullied the team into running the ball, and we became the number one running team in the league.
We were ready. We were ready to get rid of Sirianni. Everyone was saying
They
fire
were trying to run
Sirianni.
him out of town, and he listened to the fans and worked on his coaching and became a good coach and actually listened and ran the football. So it's just you can't you have to have a certain mentality to play in Philly, and he just doesn't have it, and
Yeah,
that's why he needs to go.
you need to listen to for athletes or anybody that has aspirations for being a coach or a player for a Philadelphia team. Just listen to it. We know what we're talking about sometimes. We're not just drunk in the parking lot, like talking out of our ass sometimes. Like sometimes we know what we're talking about.
Sometimes, occasionally.
This is
But I
why I
mean,
should be the GM of the Sixers.
it's bad when like the national media is saying Philadelphia fans are right. Like that's when it's like when everyone's on board with us. That's when Ben Simmons like truly in the wrong right now, because national media doesn't like to agree with Philadelphia. We're like saying Ben Simmons is in the wrong, then Ben Simmons is truly in the wrong in this situation.
Yes, because we are toxic, and I love it.
Yep.
All right, just let us know what you think about that Ben Simmons situation. Try to lighten the mood a little bit. There's a lot of big surprises this NBA season. Records are being broken, having amazing performances every night. And we're almost at the halfway point of the season. So, Justin, I want to know, like, what your biggest surprises this season? Who stood out the most to you? Who's been, catching your eye more than anybody in this league that didn't last year?
I think personally for me, it is the Chicago Bulls. I think it's kind of an obvious answer for a lot of people, but for me, it's the Chicago Bulls. Back this past offseason, I was a really big advocate for the Sixers trading Ben Simmons to the Spurs to try and get DeMar DeRozan. I really wanted him. I wanted a DeRozan, Murray, like Keldon Johnson type package for Ben Simmons with the Spurs. I mean, obviously that didn't work out, and now DeMar DeRozan has a case for MVP right now with the Bulls. Between him, Levine, Lonzo Ball, they're just really good this year. I thought they'd be good. I thought they'd be better than what they were. I thought they'd be kind of like a 6, maybe 5, like bottom half of the Eastern Conference, but playoff team. But to be the number one team in this Eastern Conference, very impressive. I think in general, just the way I think it's kind of switched up in my opinion. Like the Eastern Conference this year is more of a I'd say the Eastern Conference is actually better than the Western Conference this year in terms of depth. Obviously, in the West you got the top heavy guys like the Suns and the Warriors. But I mean, the Eastern Conference goes deep. I mean, you have 10 playoff teams this year. Well, you get 10 and 8 playoff teams and the 2 play-in teams. All those teams are above 500 in the East at the moment. Meanwhile, you go to the Western Conference, and that 10th team is the Portland Trailblazers, who are 8 games below 500. I mean, the 7th seed is under 500 in the Western Conference. I just think the depth isn't there. In the West, they have a couple more powerhouses, but the depth isn't there. So that kind of surprised me. I thought the Western Conference would be better this season. But Chicago Bulls are a big one. DeMar DeRozan's big. Fred VanVleet's been balling out too. I don't know if you've been paying attention to him in Toronto, but he's been balling. He's putting up like 21, 6 and 5. So he's been balling out. It's been a good year for some kind of breakout type players.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think about obviously, you heard about the injuries that the Bulls just sustained. Lonzo Ball is out with I believe it's a torn meniscus sprain, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is meniscus. Yeah, I think he had surgery on his meniscus. Something in his knee there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out 6 to 8 weeks. Zach LaVine is injured. He'll be out for a little bit. Do you think this is going to affect where the Bulls stand, or do you think they can still hold their
own? I think it's definitely going to drop a bit. I think Lonzo is a very underrated player. I've always been a big fan of the Ball brothers. Lonzo's very underrated. His defense, his shooting, and just ball handling ability. They do have Kobe White there though, who I do like a lot. He can fill in nicely, but he's still gonna be a drop off, especially defensively. So I don't know. It's definitely gonna hurt though. It's gonna be a loss. Luckily, they have DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Vukovic though, so they should do just fine. I could see him dropping to maybe like fourth in the East before he gets back, but they're still going to be in the top half for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were talking about like them getting Lonzo and them getting DeMar. Like, you got to talk about how underrated Vucevic was as a signing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
For
he's
sure.
easily
I
what?
mean,
He's easily like a top five, like top seven center in the
really
league.
top five. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Vukovic is good. I've said for a while. I said on this show actually I think it was one of our last shows before we ended there. I had him as one of my biggest like sleepers, most underrated players in the league. I've always liked his game since he was on the Sixers. They're just a very underrated squad. Nobody really gave him a chance coming into the year. But I think them losing Lonzo hurts, but they're still going to be okay. They'll still be right there in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I don't think they're experienced enough to be a finals team yet. I think they'll probably
I
make it to
agree.
the Eastern Conference, and then probably Brooklyn will probably knock them out. To be honest, I don't think they can go like with a healthy Brooklyn. I don't think they can go. They can compete.
Out of the East, I think that Brooklyn's definitely coming out of the East. They're just too good at the moment with everyone healthy. But if the Bulls can add a couple veterans like the Bucks had added PJ Tucker, and that was a big move at the deadline there. I think that really pushed them ahead last season. So like, if they can get a veteran move like that, where they can get like a guy who just got experience and toughness, I think you could conference finals, maybe even the finals. But I don't think they'll win anything this year.
I mean, so my biggest surprise this year is not surprising. Maybe a little. It's pretty surprising. Is John Morant? Just what he's been able to do this year.
Yeah.
We know what he's capable of, but people are kind of on the fence about what he's doing. Can he be a leader for this Grizzlies team? And obviously, you can show that he has. I mean, in my opinion, he's probably top. He's got to be somewhere in that MVP candidate talk.
I would 100% have him top 5 in the MVP.
I mean,
right now,
he's not dropping 50 or 40-point triple doubles like Jokic or Embiid, but I mean, he's doing work. His stats have improved. He's averaging more points when he's on the court. He's making more of an impact. I think John Morant has the potential to be. I think next year he's probably going to be, besides Curry, the best point guard in the league.
That's big take. I don't hate it. He's improved every year in the game. For me, he's just got that intensity. Like when you look in his eyes, like he just has that feeling. You can tell that he thinks he is truly better than everyone else out on that court. Like he doesn't care who you were. He doesn't care if he's going up against, let's say, Rudy Gobert or whatever. He has the determination. He is going to try and dunk right all over him. He doesn't care that he's the reigning defensive player of the year. He doesn't care he's got like whatever 7 defensive player of the years, whatever the number is. He just truly does not care. He will do whatever it takes to dunk right over you. And he reminds me, he's got that like Kobe Bryant energy, like Allen Iverson. Like he's just got it, and like he's going to be a special player in this league for a lot of years to come. I can just tell.
100%. Definitely will be very exciting to watch him. Let us know what you think about all these surprises going on in the NBA. Let's get into these Lakers, man.
Yeah,
obviously, you're gonna have a field day with this because
this is my favorite part of the show right here.
The Lakers are my second team. LeBron, obviously, the king.
Yeah,
2020 champion.
LeBron fan.
2020 champion.
Mickey Mouse champion right there.
Not a Mickey Mouse ring. It was a valid ring. They won it in one of the most stressful times in history, and they were able to pull it off.
Yeah.
But obviously, they've been struggling. So, my biggest thing, a lot of people like to blame Westbrook. I think he's partially the blame for this Lakers team going down, but I don't think he's the full blame because he's still putting in work out there. He's still doing his thing.
He tries. Yeah, he tries.
You know, you look at the numbers and he's still doing it. But think about it. They downgraded on defense astronomically. You know, you lose Kyle Kuzma, you lose KCP, you lose Alex Caruso. I mean, these aren't like big name guys, but I mean, you know, you see what Kuzma's doing in Washington. You know, Caruso
Kuzma's
is a good
balling,
role
man.
player. Yeah, KCP was a great defender. You know, and you're not, and you know, they downgraded on defense. So I think that's the biggest thing. You know, they always say defense wins championships. Well, you know, obviously with what the Lakers are doing, they're not a great team defensively. You know, even you had Andre Drummond as your backup center. You get Dwight Howard back. And obviously, that's a downgrade in
He's
my
kind of
opinion.
a little washed by now, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that they need better role players. They don't have the depth. I don't think it's Westbrook.
It's LeBron's fault. I'm just gonna come out and say it. It's all on LeBron right now. LeBron is basically the GM. You're right. Everything you said is correct. And the man who's responsible for all that is LeBron James. He's the one that wanted to bring Russell Westbrook in. He's the one who sent all those guys out. He's the one who didn't bother bring. LeBron has asked many people to like come back. Like he forced the Cavs into giving Tristan Thompson extensions. Like if he likes you, he's gonna make sure you're back on the roster. And he like kind of is the general manager. That's why he gets the nickname like Lee GM. Like he is the guy. He's the reason for their failures right now. He put too much faith in Anthony Davis's health, which everyone knows he shouldn't. He had that one run in 2020 where he did manage to stay healthy. But other than that, he hasn't been healthy since, and he hasn't been playing like he's healthy, even when he is on the court. He's not the same defensively, and he's just kind of soft. But it ends up falling on LeBron's shoulders because he's the one who brought in Westbrook, and he's the one who shipped KCP, Kuzma, and all them out. It's LeBron's fault. Yeah, LeBron's balling, but like we all remember LeBron sent out that tweet. He said, he made that tweet. I forget exactly how it went, but he said, don't talk crap on my guys or whatever it was. He's like, we got faith. Let me bring that tweet up real quick because he was very confident in this team. He was very confident in it. He thought they were certainly going to be good. And
so you don't think it has anything to do with like, you know, maybe Frank Vogel not being that good of a coach, you know, maybe not.
I think he's a fine coach. I don't think he's really sure. I think it ends up falling down on LeBron's shoulders.
I don't see how it could be LeBron's fault at all. I truly just don't. You know, at the end of the day, you know, he made a lot of great decisions, you know, trying to bring Westbrook over, trying to, you know, make this team better. I really don't think he has that much of a say. I'm sure he does have a say in who they get in free agency and who they trade. I'm sure he's in the room. I'm sure he's in the room when it happens, but I don't think at the end of the day LeBron has the final say.
He made the tweet. Keep talking about my squad, our ages, the way we play. We're past our time in this league, et cetera, et cetera. Do me one favor, please. And I mean, please keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Like, he built this team. He was so confident. He sent out that tweet. He did delete it, but he was so confident. We're keeping that same energy, LeBron. You just built a bad roster that can't compete in this league right now. It's 2022, and you thought you were going to put Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard all on the same team. Like, it was just stupid from the start. I mean, I just truly don't. Carmelo Anthony, another one, he's actually been pretty solid this year, though. I will give him that. But I mean, this team 10 years ago, fantastic. This team in 2022, it's just not it. They are too old. They don't have enough shooting. It's just not a good defensive team either. So at the end of the day, this falls on LeBron's shoulder because he's the one, he was the one calling the shots on all this. He wouldn't have tweeted something out like that if it wasn't personal, like he didn't build it himself. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's on LeBron. Yeah, these other guys could be better, but he put too much faith in the wrong people, and it bites him at the end of the day. So I'm blaming LeBron for the Lakers' struggles right now. And you can fire a coach, whatever. I don't think a coach really makes a difference in the NBA unless you're here or there. Like, I think a team that's talented that like needs to get to the next level, that's fine. But the Lakers have the talent. They have the guys. They don't need a new coach. What they
See,
need is those players back.
but see, like the thing is, when we talk about like LeBron being like the GM, the coach, like you got to think about it this way. Yes, when he was in Cleveland, yeah, maybe he was that way because that's the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're a poverty franchise. They're gonna do whatever he wants. They're gonna kiss his ass and do whatever he wants because they're Cleveland. They don't have a lot of, you know, they don't have a lot of weight on. We're talking about the Los Angeles
Disrespecting
Lakers.
Cleveland here. Come on, man.
Who cares about Cleveland? I'll bring out the Joakim Noah clip. Nobody goes to Cleveland on vacation.
I'm just
But we're
playing.
talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the biggest franchises in all of sports.
Yeah, and
There's no
LeBron
way
wouldn't
that-
have signed with them in free agency if he didn't have power. That was, that was part of his like agreement. Like, you're gonna give me power in the front office if I sign with you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure he's always in the room for when they're discussing trades or signings or things like that. But I genuinely do not believe that he has the final say. Maybe he did in Cleveland. Maybe he did in Cleveland.
I think he has the final say at
for
the end of the
Lakers.
day, and I'm blaming him for the Lakers' struggles. If he built a better team and didn't force all those trades, I think the Lakers are a better team than they are right now. It's just one game below 500. Now that a team with those guys, like when you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James, who are essentially two top 10 players in this league, I think that's fair to say, two borderline at least top 10 players. Most years they are two top 10 players. There's really no excuse for you to be a game under 500 nearly 50 games into the season. Like, it's really unexcusable, and it falls on LeBron's shoulders because he is LeBron James and he has stake in the front office for sure.
This could go on. This could go on for hours and hours. And
Yes,
hours.
it could.
This could go on. But let us know what you think. We'll actually put a poll. We'll put a poll on our Instagram. Is it LeBron's fault? Is it something else? Who knows? All righty. We are moving on. We are a month away from the All-Star game. Looking at some of these votes that we were actually talking off the air about some of these standings, which are kind of unusual. Like me personally, I know we were talking about this. Justin, I'm not a fan of the fan voting personally. I just don't think it's very effective, and I think it kind of excludes, who's actually playing well. Like you brought up the thing about, Fred VanVleet is lower than Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving is a part-time player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, I get it. Like, the NBA wants the fans to be a part of this. Like, they need like the fan interaction. I get it's good for the league, but at the end of the day, like, it's just stupid. Like, the amount of guys on here, Carmelo Anthony is not a top 7 front court player in the Western Conference. Like, he just isn't there. Like, you're telling me Carmelo Anthony is better than Karl Anthony Towns, very good, better than DeAndre. There's just no way. Like, it's not a thing. Like, I think fan voting can be good because it's interactive and stuff, but it's just like, come on, this stuff can be so mind-boggling. Like, I think most of it is right, at least right now, at least with the latest things that have came in. I think most of it is pretty good, but nothing's gonna affect the starters. But like, there were guys when Taco Falls was a big craze, like he was getting a ton of votes for no reason. Like, it's just stupid. Like,
remember when Zaza Pachulia was like second for
like the Golden State Warriors voting their fans, and you're like, now it's just becoming whose fans are most passionate about voting stuff in.
Yeah.
Like, who, like, that kind of defeats the purpose. Like, and like, most votes gets to be all like the captains when they like pick teams and stuff for us to game. I like the format, how they changed it up and stuff, how they had to pick teams like that. But like, come on, you're gonna get Kevin Durant versus LeBron James every year. Like, let's mix it up. Let's have Jokic and Embiid do it. Like, that'd be funny. That would be cool. Like, you don't got to beat top vote getters every year because votes are irrelevant at this point. Because the fans, like one of us say, like, I'd rather them go around the players and all the players vote and coaches of us because they're the ones playing the game. They understand it the best. These 12-year-old fans who like Steph Curry because he shoots long threes, so they're Warriors fans and they vote every Warriors player in the West. Like, come on now. Like, Andrew Wiggins is balling out this year, so when he is third in the front court, I guess I really can't say too much because he is playing very well. But like, a guy that is only averaging 18, like 6 and 5 or whatever, probably shouldn't be starting over Anthony Davis, Paul George, Karl Anthony Towns. Like realistically, just shouldn't be there necessarily. So it's just frustrating when you see those numbers.
Yeah, and this is why I always say, like, if we're going by players' accolades, all-star appearances should not be taken into account at all
Mm-hmm.
because it's a fan
relevant.
decision. It has no impact. It has no, I'm trying to think of the word, like no correlation
weight
to how
to
you
it.
actually
Like there,
play.
yeah, it's not like it's basically what fans think of you, and most of the time, fans don't truly know. Like they're just not knowledgeable on the topic. They don't watch enough. They're not actually playing the game. Like they've never played before, so they're just like
Casual fans.
they
Yeah.
don't understand everything. They're fans. Like there's a reason why they're not general managers or coaches or whatever. They're fans. Like I don't know, just the whole voting. I don't have a solution for it because I understand you need the fan interaction, but like it's kind of annoying. It bothers me.
Yeah. And just to give everybody an update for the Western Conference guards, the standings are from bottom to top: Anthony Edwards, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Devin Booker, Klay Thompson, Luka Doncic, John Morant, and Steph Curry. Number one. For the front court, it is DeAndre Ayton, Rudy Gobert, Cat, Melo, Draymond, AD, Paul George, Wiggins, Jokic, and LeBron. For the East, it is, again from top to bottom, Jaylen Brown, Darius Garland, interesting, Derrick Rose, Fred VanVleet, Kyrie Irving, LaMelo Ball, James Harden, Zach LaVine, Trae Young, and DeMar DeRozan. For the front court, it is LaMarcus Aldridge, Miles Bridges, interesting again, Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, Jared Allen, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum, Embiid, Giannis, and KD. So, Justin, I have to ask you, let's say the All-Star game was today. Who are you starting for the East and West?
Yeah, I agree with most of it. My guards, DeMar DeRozan would be there for sure. I'd take James Harden personally over Trae Young. You can kind of compare the numbers there. James Harden does have slightly less and worse numbers, but you got to remember James Harden's playing second man, kind of bad. He's playing like Robin to Batman with KD there. So, I mean, we saw when KD was out, James Harden was averaging at 35 points per game, triple double. Like if he was on his own team right now, like Trae Young is, he would be putting up better numbers than Trae Young. So I would put James Harden in there, but Trae Young is balling, so I don't really have a problem with it. But my personal opinion, I would have Harden and DeRozan as the guards, and then front court. Yeah, it's correct. I think Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Embiid are clearly the three there. I don't think there's really any debate even. Like I think if you have anyone other than those three, I think you're just flat out stupid and don't watch basketball.
Right.
As for the West, the guards, John Morant and Steph Curry, kind of the obvious two there as well. I think there's maybe a case for Luka, but like Ja's just playing too well, and Curry's Curry. I mean, he's Steph Curry is way more votes than every other guard there. Like he's certainly is a lock. So I think Curry should be in there as well. And then
you weren't a Curry guy.
I'm not a Curry guy, but I mean, you have to put him in there. He's better than clearly every other guard in the West. If he was in the East, that's maybe a different story there. There's enough good guards in the East. But front court for the West, gonna have to put LeBron in there, Jokic as well. I think those are clearly like the two front court members there. The third one, it's interesting, could go a couple different ways. Andrew Wiggins is in there now. I would personally substitute him out for Paul George. I'm a big Paul George guy. I think he should be in there instead. Obviously, he's hurt, missed a couple games here recently. Hopefully, he's back soon. But I would put Paul George there. I really like him.
Definitely some good picks. Yeah, mine are pretty much like all the obvious. Like the East is pretty predictable. Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, KD, Giannis, and Embiid. I don't think there's any real question there. For the West, I got Steph. I got Klay actually starting.
You Klay starting over Ja?
I really think Klay is going to start because he's coming back. I think they're gonna give him that starting spot.
Interesting.
I've got LeBron and AD, and then I've got Jokic.
AD's an interesting one too. He's just been so unreliable. I don't know. I think he probably will get in there as well. I think he'll end up getting the votes because of Lakers fans. But
Yeah, he's better this year. I will say he's inconsistent, but he is
very
better.
inconsistent.
Doing better in my opinion.
Anthony Davis is just one of those guys that I'm just personally not like a fan of. Like, I mean, I like the guy, but like his game just totally bothers me because as a big man, he plays so soft. Like he plays scared out there. He wants to always stand at the 3-point line. And like I get that's where the center position is going, but you never see him down there like banging bodies right there. Like Embiid gets the ball. Yeah, he shoots some threes and he plays outside, but he also goes in there and bullies people down low. Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, and they all do the same thing. Anthony Davis just kind of stays out there. Like he never really comes inside. He's all about finesse. And that just personally bothers me. I actually think it's one of the flaws with the Lakers there. But yeah, I'm just not a big Anthony Davis guy, so I would not put him in there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like honestly, like when you brought up like Embiid like being out on the three, I can't stand when Embiid's out on the perimeter because like this is kind of off topic, but like seriously, like you have a guy that's 7'2", what 2'7", we'll say 270. Like he should be under the basket at all times. Yes, he can shoot the three. Yes, he's got that Kobe fader. I like it, but I think 99%, 97% of the time he should be under the basket, just bodying everybody.
He should, but I also think he needs some breaks on the outside. And also helps floor spacing a lot. Like when Maxey or Tobias Harris have the ball and he can give them a little more space to work. So I don't hate him out there, but yeah, he does need to get his 206, what is it, 7'2", 270-pound body down there, down low sometimes.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think about this All-Star race, a month away. Who do you think is going to be in like the 3-point contest and like the dunk contest?
That's I mean, yeah, it's tough because like the dunk contest has become like so over the kind of ruined it these past couple years, in my opinion. Kind of become so irrelevant in my opinion. And like none of the big guys want to do it. Like who do I want in there? Man, I want like Ja, LeBron, Zion if he's healthy. Like I want all those guys in there. But knowing that we're gonna get some like random dudes. Like we're gonna get like Karis LeVert and Furkan Korkmaz, and like that's gonna be guys that are like you're gonna get these guys to like it's just not as entertaining. It's just not as good of a product anymore as it used to be, because it used to be like a thing, like like MJ's going to the dunk contest, Dwight Howard's going to the dunk contest. Like now you're getting guys who shouldn't even be in All-Star weekend participate in the dunk contest. Like I think it should be a thing that like the 3-point contest and All-Star game should be like you either have to be a young guy in the rising game between like the first and second year players, or you have to be an all-star to be participating in the 3-point challenge or dunk contest. Like I think that should be like a rule. Like they shouldn't just be bringing in random guys off the bench because they can dunk a lot. Like I think you need the entertainment level of superstar big name guys.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think it makes it a lot more interesting. Yeah. Month away. Let us know what you guys think about this All-Star race. Last but not least, we're going to talk about the MVP. The MVP race. Obviously, you know who our picks are going to be, but MVP race is looking good, but it's a little tight still. You got Jokic. You had Embiid. The other night dropped 50 points in 27 minutes, and then right after that you have Jokic dropping a 49-point triple double. So the race is tight. So Justin, your opinion, who do you think deserves the MVP out of everybody? I think I know your answer, but I need you to explain.
Yeah. I think it's Embiid. A lot of people said Curry. Man, like when Curry doesn't play, that Warriors team still wins games. Like I think, in my opinion, the most valuable player on that Warriors team, this isn't like Curry slander, I just think it's Draymond Green. When Draymond Green plays good basketball, he is the most valuable player to that team. Because as we've seen, Draymond Green missed the last 10 games. They're only 6-4 over the last 10 games without Draymond Green playing. Like Draymond Green's all-around game, his ball handling, his defense, his rebounding. Like he is the true like for me, I look at MVP. Like most people look best player in the league. Like, yeah, MVP is best player in the league. But I look at it as who is truly the most valuable player in the league? Who is without that player on the team, how is that team going to do? And I think the Philadelphia 76ers without Joel Embiid are a bottom 3 team in the entire league. Like, I think they're that bad. They're Detroit Pistons, Orlando Magic. Like, they are that level bad without him. So that's why I think I have to pick him. Like, when he's just not on the court, the team suffers bad. Like, he is their entire team, especially this year without Ben Simmons. Like, he's picked up in the assist category. So I just don't see how it's not him. Some other guys up there, Curry, Jokic, Giannis, Ja. I like Ja a lot. I think he's a sleeper there. But yeah, like the last year, right? The debate was like Jokic, Embiid, who's going to win MVP? And they were like, oh, well, you can't give it to Embiid because he's missed too many games or whatever. Well, now Embiid's putting up the same numbers and he's playing as many games as he can. He hasn't really missed any games, maybe a couple back-to-backs here and there. But like, it's not like he's missing games. So like, how can you
He
not
doesn't
give him
play a
MVP
lot in the
this
games.
year? Yeah, like I just don't understand. Like, in my opinion, I think Embiid should be a top, like right now Embiid's 4th on the list in like odds or whatever to win it. But I think he should at least be a top 3 player. And I think he's personally my pick. I think the fact that you got guys like Giannis and Curry up there, like to my meaning of MVP, I just don't think they are truly that valuable to their teams. I think when you have multiple other stars, all-stars on that team, Drew Holiday, you got Chris Middleton, like you have guys that can carry those teams. They're going to be an 8 seed or 9 seed. Like the Sixers without Embiid and the Nuggets without Jokic, like they are truly one of the worst teams in the league. Meanwhile, Golden State without Curry, I think between the young guys they got balling there, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, who's a fantastic coach. I think they would be, especially with how weak the Western Conference is this year, I think they would be a top 8 team in the West. The Bucks would probably still be a top team in the East, or not a top team, but like a playoff level team in the East between Chris Middleton dropping 20 plus points a night and Drew Holiday taking on a bigger role. They got good role players in Milwaukee. Like those guys are still going to be good. Denver Nuggets and Philadelphia 76ers, they just are not going to be good without Jokic and Embiid out there. So I think those two are the favorites again. And since this year, Embiid really hasn't missed any games, the only time he rests is when the team is up big and he can sit out 4th quarters like he did against the Magic. Like, I just don't see how you can't give him MVP this year.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think the only reason that people are saying Curry is because of recency bias, him breaking the record for, for most 3-pointers. So, but yeah, like you summed it up perfectly. When the Sixers are without Embiid, they are a lottery team. They will not make the playoffs.
They're number 1 pick contention without Embiid.
Yeah.
They are like, the lottery is a little bit of an understatement. They are bad.
I mean, like when he's not on that team, like the team just completely disintegrates.
And like they have a not the great center, but they have a serviceable one in Andre Drummond. He's gonna get the 15 boards and he's gonna score 10, 12. Like he's gonna score a couple points and get you all the rebounds that Embiid would get you. So it's not like he's like some total scrub that they're bringing in next. They have a decent guy and they can't win games without him. So it's like it's clearly he's a valuable guy on that team.
100%. Definitely let us know what you think about this MVP race. Yeah, man. Should be a good one. Looking like to be a good season. I think that's gonna wrap up the episode. Good to be back. Seriously.
Yeah, it was great to be back. Business is booming. We are here to stay.
Yes,
not going anywhere. We're gonna be putting some stuff up on IG. So make sure you follow us there. We may even start dabbling in a little TikTok. So if we do that, we'll keep you guys posted there. We're going to try and get some more fan interaction stuff. Maybe if you guys comment on Instagram, DM us, Twitter, whatever we end up setting up, reach out to us, give us topics to discuss. We'll have your questions, maybe even some guest appearances from some people if they want to pop in and ask us questions and debate us live on Instagram and whatnot. So
absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Yep, got a lot of good guests coming up too. So definitely stay tuned. Follow us on social media. We'll put all that in the description. Appreciate you guys so much for watching. Great to be back. Stay safe and have a good one.